take that leap of faith towards what you truly feel called to do, what you truly... Hi Cancer, my name is Tiana and welcome to my channel, Inspired by Ease. We're going to kick it off with an animal spirit card. Oh my goodness, so what is going on with you? What message do you need to hear? I hope that you're having an amazing week and a great start to 2020 so far. Okay, Cancer, you are presenting as double air and earth with dragonfly, owl, and wolf. So yeah, normally sometimes I can read this as like two different characters, but so far the readings have just been all this, just you. So for each sign. So what I was getting mostly with dragonfly is that there's something being like totally ingrained in your third eye, in your psyche. They're like, you're being like imprinted, but actually something that's very positive, just being very ingrained into your psyche, into your third eye, and also your pineal gland and your third eye blossoming and opening up in a very amazing way. And I think that what is being ingrained for you, Cancer, is this sense of leadership and authority, that you are the authority, and this new sense of confidence and strength, and knowing who you are, and trusting, I just keep wanting to do this, just trusting your mind and knowing how brilliant your mind is. Could have someone, made you feel like you couldn't trust your mind? Were you being gaslit perhaps in some way? But yeah, I think your mind is being healed in some way. And this wolf could be another person, but it's so a part of you that I'm just going to read it as you. So with this ingrained and healing, I feel that this energy is very fiery, very passionate. So this could be source, this could be the universe saying to you, Cancer, just know that like you can just trust yourself and you're so dead on. And it's like kind of like this blaring, like, you can trust your mind, Cancer, like you are so brilliant, and just go for it, just go for it. I don't feel like it's really a person. I just feel like it's this energy that's just being just like, is just like zapping you. It's just like, yeah, just zapping you with this fiery, passionate knowing and authority and leadership and everything like that. So okay, so that is really amazing. I bought Teal Swan's app called The Blind Spot, which is a set of oracle cards that she designed, and it's to help you become more aware of a potential blind spot that you might have, and this might give us more insight onto maybe why you're doubting your mind, doubting your intelligence and wisdom. So what is Cancer's blind spot? Interesting. Non-commitment. And I will read it to you. If you have drawn this, no matter if you are admitting to it or not, and no matter if you are aware of it or not, you are not committed. Or perhaps another person is not committed. Commitment is a state of dedication, but we can define commitment in this way. To commit to something is to give your energy to something. It is to put yourself into something. The more committed you are to something, the more of your energy and therefore yourself you put into that thing. If you sit with this idea of commitment for a minute, you might already be experiencing the awareness of where you are not committed and potentially even of what exactly scares you so badly about commitment in the scenario at hand. If not, I want you to ask yourself, what is so scary about giving my energy to something or putting myself fully into something? Ask yourself this question in the context of the situation at hand. Here is a hint. Most fears on this earth boil down to the intense fear that something will be lost. For example, even if your fear is that you will gain problems, the flip side of that fear is the fear that you will lose inner peace. Some people simply fear and therefore avoid commitment in general. And the most common fear is experienced by people who fear commitment is the fear of being trapped and therefore losing freedom. And that totally makes sense with the wolf, especially like if this could be another person or perhaps you, Cancer, like being a lone wolf. People who are lone wolves can be deliberately lone wolves because they like that sense of freedom. So let's continue. If you fear commitment, your fear has caused you to develop an addiction to the sweet security of escape. The wolf can also indicate like devil energy, like addiction. So this is interesting that all of this is coming up. Decisions are the ultimate fear if you fear commitment in and of itself. You especially fear making decisions because you feel that by doing so you will lose options. You fear making the wrong decision and being trapped with the potential consequences, especially losses of that choice. And this is your personal subconscious definition of failure. That makes sense with why there's this energy of you being ingrained to like trust your mind, to trust mostly your mind, like your mind and your instincts I'm getting. But it's like being mostly ingrained in your mind, to trust your mind, to trust yourself to make decisions, and stick to that decision and know that you are right, that it's right on and correct for you, and not letting other people talk you out of it or make you question yourself. So I think the fear of you being wrong and not being able to trust yourself, I think like self-trust might be a big theme for you right now, is that you've decided to not be committed to anything, but because then that way you might not be wrong, you know? And so, yeah, there's just this energy of like, you can trust yourself, Cancer. So I will finish reading this. If you are not committing, it is likely that you have a subconscious commitment in this situation. So you are committed to something that you aren't conscious of. When it doesn't seem like we are committed, it simply means we are committed to something else. For example, a person may not seem committed to working on something because they may actually be committed to relaxing or committed to escape. We are usually operating according to a subconscious commitment when we say, I'll try, instead of I will. This is because for people who are genuinely committed, they own their free will instead of leaving outcomes in the hands of other people or circumstances. We are always committing to something. Whether we are aware of what we are committed to or not is another thing. We often don't want to admit to our real commitment because it makes us feel like we are a bad person. If you're not a bad person, Cancer, if you have drawn this, the only way to create any improvement in this situation is to become aware of what you are already committed to, and either commit to what needs to be committed to in this situation, or to clearly choose not to commit and communicate that to others. You cannot have one foot in and one foot out. So this is very interesting, Cancer. So I feel that you are dealing with the themes of not being able to trust yourself, fearing making the wrong decision, maybe even fearing decisions in general, because you have a subconscious commitment to something else that you have decided, but subconsciously. So Teal Swan actually has a video about discovering your subconscious commitment, so you might want to watch that. But essentially, the way that you figure out what your subconscious commitment is that maybe, let's say you say that you're going to do the dishes, or let's see, what else? Exercise or something like that. So you say that, but you can't get yourself to do it. You just can't. And so what is it that you end up doing instead? Are you really committed to relaxing or escaping, or, what is it that's actually truly important to you? So this is really amazing. And yeah, there might even be some shame about the subconscious commitment, because otherwise it wouldn't be subconscious. If you didn't feel like it was like bad or something. Because maybe if you feel like you're committed to more relaxation, other people would label you as lazy, when really you aren't lazy at all. Like you just really have the need to relax, and perhaps your life is very stressful. So yeah, there can be a lot there, a lot of subconscious stuff there. And yeah, with the owl, that can indicate the subconscious as well, to me, at least personally. So yeah, and then we have the wolf. So there's a lot of subconscious patterns and things and truths about yourself that I think that are coming to the light, that this dragonfly is starting to receive, because we have two kind of night creatures and a daytime creature. So yeah, this is really fascinating, Cancer. Yeah, let's see what the fairies have to say about this. But yeah, the message of, like, you can trust your mind, you can make the correct decisions. Like, you just need to get this clarity on what your subconscious commitment is, and maybe why you're afraid to take initiative on a certain aspect of your life. For example, taking the initiative to exercise, to eat healthier, to connect to others rather than isolate, to clean your house. There could be so many other things that you could be subconsciously committed to, or that you're afraid if you do that, then you'll have something taken away. Like in the description, you're afraid of loss, which is, this is all understandable. Like, this is like all totally valid. And maybe you're just like, why can't I get myself to do this? Like, why do I just like, or, it's like, I feel like you're just like asking yourself, like, why? Like, I just can't get myself to blank. And so it's because you have a subconscious commitment, and there's some kind of fear there. And it's all valid, it's all understandable. Anyone in your shoes would have the same fear. So far we have soulless. So yes, things are coming to light. You are experiencing more awareness, more enlightenment, more clarity. You're just understanding a lot more about yourself. And we have fairies of the future. So I think that whatever this is, it has to do with your long-term future. It's like, man, if I don't do this, like the consequences are not going to be good in my future. I'm going to like still be in this situation. So maybe you are feeling a bit stuck because like you just can't figure out why things aren't budging, or why you can't get yourself to do something, or why something keeps happening. And so, yeah, there's this whole enlightening process that's occurring so that you can make the changes and you can put yourself on a whole new trajectory. So we have the Glenconer that came up. There's definitely some kind of scary, confusing energy that's going on, something that is hidden, something that you can't put your finger on, just some kind of energy that, this is my narcissist card. I'm not saying that you're dealing with a narcissist, but it's just that kind of energy. Like, it's just like a slippery bar of soap, and that's how it feels when you start to dive into the subconscious. You're in unfamiliar territory, and that is the telltale sign that that you are going to put your finger on it. You are going to get clarity on this. And just remember to not beat yourself up about this, because there's just some kind of need, I think, that maybe you're scared to meet directly because society would judge you, or there would be some kind of consequence, or you just feel like it would mean that you're a bad person in some way, which isn't the case. So there might be a need to really question like what's good and what's bad. And even if most of society thinks it's bad, the real question is, do I think it's bad, or do I think that it's actually good and natural? And society is the one that has a twisted view on this. So, but with the owl, you are going to get the wisdom, you are going to get the insight of this subconscious commitment. And it's just like there's something that's being ingrained in your third eye, and your third eye is opening up, and you're being able to see something really, really clear, like really clearly than you ever have before. I also want to say that you're kind of treading into murky water here with the subconscious. That's just kind of how it feels. But the more that you can shine the light of consciousness onto the subconscious, onto this, the clearer the water will become, and you'll be able to see your feet, below you, or you'll start being able to see the wood through the trees. So let's continue. Also with this wolf, even though it's from this earth element, I'm just getting drawn to the fire, and fire is all about action. So I feel like there's some kind of action that you've been needing to take, but you just can't get yourself to do it. There has been you've needed to show some kind of initiative or leadership or authority in something, and you just haven't been able to get yourself to do it. And so you're going to get clarity on why, and you're going to be like, and you're going to figure out how to. So this can kind of go into self-sabotage too. And there really is no such thing as self-sabotage. What's really happening is that we have two aspects within us that want to go towards this thing, and the other one is screaming like, no, that's going to hurt us. That's going to cause us pain. No, I don't want to do that. And so it's really not self-sabotage, because there isn't an aspect within you that's trying to hurt you. It's trying to protect you. One aspect thinks it's a good thing and a great thing, and another aspect is like, no, that's going to cause us pain. Let's not do that. And so there might be this kind of tug of war that's going on inside you right now, where you're like, I want to exercise, but I also want to relax. And some of you might be like, well, what would be the harm in exercising? And it's like, well, because a lot of weight has to do with the feeling of being safe, and so if you don't have that feeling inside of you first, of that feeling of feeling safe, then it's like, oh my gosh, if I exercise, I'll lose the weight and I won't feel safe, and like all of these horrible consequences will happen. So what you're needing, what your subconscious commitment is to safety and comfort. That is completely valid. And so once you're like, oh, that's why, then you can start to meet your needs on how to get safety and comfort in other ways and healthier ways, and to create more safety in your life, so you aren't needing to feel like you need to like protect yourself. So that could just be one example where, yeah, that could be. And I'm trying to think of something else. For the best one that I can think of right now, with like more towards society, like if I say what my subconscious commitment is, if my subconscious commitment is, not having a whole lot of responsibility when it comes to relationships, and I just want to be free to escape and go where I please and be kind of a lone wolf, that's going to make me a bad person. And, like subconsciously. So it could be something like that, where it's like, no, I actually want this freedom because I had all of this enmeshment trauma, and I felt so imprisoned most of my childhood, and I do care, I do want connection, and I am comfortable with certain responsibilities, but I also want to be able to be free to go as I please, to come and go as I please. And that makes perfect sense with what I experienced in my childhood. And so by having this level of compassion and understanding for yourself, Cancer, by realizing what your subconscious commitment is and be like, oh yeah, that makes sense, you're going to be able to meet your needs and meet them more directly and consciously commit to something, and have a much healthier sense of self, and not feel like you're being pulled in so many different directions, and just organize all your energy consciously towards what you're consciously committed to. So that feels pretty complete for me, actually. I hope that helped. We're just going to pull any last remaining words of advice for you, Cancer, from Spirit. Oh my goodness, time for a nap. That's so beautiful. Time for a nap. Like, don't try to like stress yourself out over this. I think the answer is just going to come to you, and definitely watching Teal Swan's video on how to discover your subconscious core commitment will really help. But yeah, this is like letting yourself off the hook and just allowing yourself to rest and take a breather. And oftentimes, if you're like, okay, like now you have some kind of clarity about like, okay, I have this subconscious commitment, and that's why I'm not able to create this movement in my life that I want to. I wonder what it is. And so you might just take a nap, and you might be like, oh, my subconscious commitment is this. So yeah, I think just taking a break is going to do you wonders, and is actually going to bring you a lot of wisdom and clarity just from taking a break from it, really. Yeah. What else? We have Yang, which I think has to do with the lack of action that you've been able to take, that maybe you feel pressured to take. And this could also be like, is that, for example, if society is pressuring a high school student to go to college, and that student just can't get themselves to fill out application forms for different colleges, they're just like, I don't know what it is. Like, I just can't get myself to do it. I just can't get myself to take this action. It's because actually they know in their heart that that route of going to college is not for them, because they're born to, they already have all their gifts inside of them. They just need to just like do it because they're an artist. They don't need to go to college. So yeah, it could be something like that where it's like you don't even, that's the thing that you're feeling pressure to do that you can't get yourself to do. Like, you can't do it because you're not meant to do it. And so it's all about like relieving yourself of that responsibility. Like, that's off the table. Like, that's not even like what you want to do. So and so this is all about your true path, your true calling, you know. For the sake of an example, like, take college off the table. What is it that you're really committed to? Where do you feel really drawn to do, to be, to go? And you will realize just like how easy it is to take action towards that. So that might be your case as well, where it's like you think that you're supposed to be doing this when really you're not at all. That's why you can't get yourself to do it. So just take it off the table. You're relieved of that. Yeah. Let's see, is there anything else we can get for the amazing Cancer? I thought there was a card there. Come to the edge. Yeah, this is all about taking a big leap of faith. So with the college example, you know, there might be so much pressure from that child's family, from society, from all their friends going to college and filling out applications and visiting different campuses and everything. And that person is just like the odd one out, and it's just like, I just have to take this leap of faith of like trusting my intuition that college is not for me, and be brave to trust myself that really isn't for me. And I just have to be the odd one out and know that is not my path. And yeah, just take that leap of faith, Cancer, that whatever that path you thought was for you is not. Take that leap of faith towards what you truly feel called to do, what you truly feel guided to pursue. And I'm gonna see if there's any other. Right when I looked at the time, it was 31:31, and it might not be that time for you because I probably edited this video, but that's a cool sign that things are lining up for you. We have regeneration. So this is really amazing. I think that you are burning away all the things that don't longer serve you. You're burning away all of the responsibilities and things that you really don't need to concern yourself with anymore. And sometimes we can be hyper responsible and feel like we have all of these responsibilities and burdens to carry when it was never ours to begin with. So you might want to give back the responsibility to who and where it really belongs. And yeah, I just feel that you are just burning away all the things that just don't serve you anymore and that don't belong to you, and you are being reborn to who you authentically are, and only being, doing, and taking the action towards where you really want to go. I feel that you just had all of this clutter, all of this junk. It doesn't mean have to be physical, but just pressure, just things that just didn't belong to you, and you're clearing away all of that where it's just you. It's just you, and everything is just becoming very, very clear for you. I hope that makes sense. It's very, very strong. There's some kind of responsibility or action that you've been trying to get yourself to do that you really don't, either you don't really need to do, or you have some kind of subconscious commitment or fear. But even in that, you're letting go of some kind of shame or embarrassment regarding that subconscious commitment. With the example of losing weight and wanting to feel safe, you're letting go of all the things that don't make you feel safe. So yeah, I hope that message comes through. I can really feel it, and it's just like, look at her, like she just feels like so free, like light as a feather, and she can just go where she wants to go, and taking that leap of faith and trusting herself. Anything else for the amazing Cancer? Anything else? Here and now, presence, absolute presence, meditation, being in the here and now is going to give you the clarity that you need of what is correct for you, what the right decision for you is, and you're just going to need to trust it and take that leap of faith. Okay, Cancer? That feels very complete to me. I hope that this was of value to you. Know that you are never ever alone, even in your darkest moments, never ever. And you are so, so loved, and be kind to yourself and be kind to others. Big kiss. Mwah. Take care. Bye.